Thank you for listening to that announcement. Unfortunately, you have to hear it again, that this meeting is being recorded. It is hosted on YouTube, but it is not searchable on YouTube. This recording can be found on our website at www.jeffreyspoint.org. You are not required to have your camera on at any time. You are not required to have your name be displayed or to have your voice recorded. You can submit things through the chat. You are also encouraged to submit things through the chat at any time. You do not have to wait until the end of a presentation to submit a question or comment. You can certainly do so through the middle of the meeting. One of the reasons that we record the meeting is because a number of community members will watch this recording at their own convenience, and it is also watched by the local press, which is how they report on this meeting. I know that for a fact. Just so you know, this is the Monday, May 17th monthly meeting of the Jeffreys Point Neighborhood Association. My name is Margaret, and I am the co-chair, and I thank you so much for being here. Tyler?
Hi, everyone. I'm Tyler Lane. I am one of the other co-chairs, and I handle the planning and zoning stuff. Aubrey, you're up first. Sorry, Joanna.
Hi everyone, Aubrey here. I am Vice Chair. Bienvenidos a todos. El anuncio fue que grabamos esta reunión. Si alguien tiene una pregunta de ese proceso, que me haga saber. And just welcome to everyone. Thank you so much for being here.
Joanna?
Lo siento, mi español es muy malo, so I'm going to go with English. Hi, I'm Joanna Cook. I'm the Secretary of the Board. Thanks for being here.
Okay. Normally, we would also be joined by Andrew Pike, who is our treasurer. Unfortunately, he could not be here this evening because of a work commitment. But we do thank him for his many efforts. We do have a couple of announcements and thank yous. JPNA would like to give a warm thank you to Bill Masterson, Olive Tree Eastie, and Carlos Garcia for the East Boston cleanup that happened on May 2nd. Yes, big round of applause to everyone who braved the nasty weather to do a community cleanup. We thank you and everyone who came out for your wonderful efforts. The weather did not cooperate, but all of the volunteers and wonderful activities did. And we thank all of you for your wonderful efforts. So thank you again. Hopefully the next time we get together to do it, we will be graced by sunshine. But again, thank you to Bill, Tree Eastie, and Carlos Garcia for all of your hard work. Unfortunately, our board members were otherwise booked that weekend, but we thank you for everything. This Sunday, there is a free Boston BAA 2-mile walk run at the White Memorial Stadium at 9 a.m. Please look online for registration information. It is open to the community. The Boston Athletic Association does not do a ton of activities here in East Boston, so we encourage people to take advantage. And again, it is free and it is a 2-mile walk or optional run. Please feel free to take part. We'd love to see you out there. Quick reminder, the East Boston Ferry is open. Water transportation is open long before Memorial Day. It is not something that you have to wait for. It runs approximately every 15 minutes. It takes off from the dock at Lewis Wharf. It is a boat ride that ends near your home and is a beautiful ride. So please take advantage of our water transportation. If we do not take advantage of it, it will go away. So please take advantage of water transportation. We would love to see you out there. This summer in July, I'm jumping ahead a quick month, is going to be the JPNA Potluck. It will occur on Monday, July 13th at the Golden Stairs Terrace Park. We will start a little bit earlier that night at 6:30. Everyone is welcome to stop by, meet your neighbor, enjoy some lovely food, and meet community members. We will, of course, be inviting our elected officials, and we hope that they will stop by and join us so that we'll have the chance to talk to them about what's going on in our community at the same time. Please feel free to put that on your calendars, and we hope to see you there. Again, that is Monday, July 13th at the Golden Stairs Terrace Park. As an FYI, we've had a number of questions from the community about the next time we will be seeing the Marginal Street Shipyard. And I do want to let people know that they have requested time on our June meeting for the agenda. And so that is the next time that we are expecting to receive an update from them. We do not know what the total agenda item is, but we will be seeing them next month. Speaking of our June meeting, This is to serve as an official notice that the JP&A election cycle is now open. The nominations are officially started for the election cycle. There is at least one open seat. If you are interested in running for election, we welcome you. To nominate yourself or someone else, you can put something in the chat here, or you can nominate someone by emailing the board at board@jeffreyspoint.org, starting now at this meeting or anytime through to the election at the June meeting next month. If you have questions or concerns before nominating yourself or someone else, you are also welcome to talk to any board member that you are most comfortable with, or email the board at board@jeffreyspoint.org. The JP&A is 100% a volunteer run. It is, there are moments that it's a lot of work, but it is always rewarding. I think that's something that every board member would agree about. But again, this is the election cycle is officially open, and we welcome you to be a part of the board. Only two more announcements and then I will stop talking. The Eastie Public Library has opened their seed library. And according to Joanna, who dropped off a whole bunch of seeds, it is well stocked. Please stop by the Eastie Public Library during any of their open hours to take advantage and grab some seeds if you are considering starting your own garden. The seeds are free and open and available to anyone in the public. Also, as a reminder, we do not have a planning and zoning meeting scheduled for this month at this time. Normally at this time, at the end of the announcements, we turn this over to our public officers. However, we asked Massport if they would be willing to come back and talk about the Tall Ship event that is coming up this month, because there's going to be quite a few special events that surround the tall ships, and there's also some public transportation issues surrounding it. And they said Anthony Guerrero said he's willing to come, but only if he can go first because he has to catch a plane. So I would ask for the patience of our police officers to let Anthony Guerrero go first so he can then go run and catch his flight. So, Anthony, take it away.
That was a good pun, Margaret. I like that. That was pretty good. Good evening, everybody, and to BPD, thanks a lot for letting me go first. Just really quickly, Margaret, I just want to pivot. You mentioned Tree Eastie. I think that you saw in the social media that Massport has partnered with Tree Eastie with a 2-year pilot program. We're very excited about that. I'm working with Bill Masterson, who's been great. We planted 8 trees at Pierce Park Phase 2 weeks ago, and we're going to start doing that over the next 2 years in Massport's public services. Public spaces. And then the work at Pierce Park should be completed by the end of this month. So I think by May 21st, the playground area and the splash pad, that work should be completed. Then we're going to pivot and get that crew to start working at Bremen Street. So we're very excited. Our CEO is very excited about that work. So 2 major events are happening here. A lot of you, I come to you to talk about projects that are happening at the airport or on our campus. So we really wanted to do some community engagement. And we're going to be doing 2 events. One is going to be about a celebration of FIFA. The second is going to be about Sail Boston, which Margaret had mentioned. So right now, we're going to celebrate the community and engage the people along the waterfront by doing a FIFA event. And if you give me an opportunity, we can share. I have a quick PowerPoint, Margaret.
Yeah, go for it, Anthony. Yeah, if you request, I can give you the permission.
Yeah, Tyler. So how do I do that?
You know what? Click the share button, bottom.
There we
bottom.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then click and then start trying to share. And
Here we go.
if it requires permission, it'll.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Good. That's great. Okay. So let's see. FIFA. Okay. Move this over. So Massachusetts, we are trying to break the world's record for the biggest soccer ball, and that record started in 2013 in Qatar. It's going to be one large.
I think you want to zoom in a little bit, Anthony, because to me, I see like your full screen, and that makes what you want to show us like really small.
Okay.
I think you want to zoom in just a teeny. There you
How's
go.
that? Is that better? You guys can see that?
It's better, yeah.
Okay, can you see me? I'm the one waving from you in the crowd. Can you see that, Margaret? So we're very excited about this. This is going to be one large canvas. ball. It's going to be on a stage. It's going to be lit, and it will be lit probably till about 9 o'clock. We want to be cognizant of the people who live in the neighborhood. This installation of this ball, this canvas ball, will be between June 9th and June 12th, with a community celebration on the 13th. We have two major sponsors. The tents are going to be professionally installed, when we do that request. And the major sponsors are going to be doing a bunch of giveaways. Um, right now, the current size for the record is 38 feet. We think that our canvas ball is going to be 45 feet. We'll have standard security around the park. We're excited to have this festival. There will not be any viewing of any games. So I will make sure that that's clear. This is just a family fun festival. There'll be a blower to keep the ball inflated, and a generator naturally will be needed, but we'll have all the security protocols there. And then my favorite is, how we have signs all over the place that says known drone activity. We are going to have drone activity that got approval by the FAA for the various news outlets that are going to be covering this event. So this is a major event. We're very excited. Rich Davey, our CEO, is very excited to bring this to the East Boston waterfront. And I think my next slide should do, yeah. So June 9th to 12th, ball installation, daily activity hours, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., which more or less mirrors what we have for the park operations. We'll have music, entertainment. Event hours will be on the 13th from 12 to 4 p.m. Sunday, the 14th to 17th, ball on public display during the park hours. Remember, we're in summer hours now, so that's 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. And then the 18th and 19th, the ball will be deflated, and that whole area will be dismantled. So we'll more or less, like when we have a big event like Easter Pride Day, we'll have security on hand. But we're very excited about having challenge in the Guinness Book of World Records for this for event. We're very excited about it, and we hope that the community enjoys that time. They get excited about it as well. So something will be coming in the newspaper relatively shortly about that, and then as we get closer to the date, we'll be doing social media posts and an ad in the newspaper as well. Is that good, Margaret, on that one? Tyler, can we go to Sail Boston? Good. Okay. So the Parade of Sail, if you remember, if you were around 9 years ago, we had a Parade of Sail event and viewing at Pierce Park. So it's pretty much going to be the same. The viewing will be at both parks now. The major entrance will be through in Marginal. You know that Boston Police is closing off Marginal Street for that day. I think that Boston Police mentioned it at the last meeting I was at, JP&A, I think maybe 2 months ago. We're going to have two security checkpoints, the main entrance at Cottage and Marginal, and then the other one will be at Pierce Park Lane 2. Excuse me for a second. That's my son you hear in the background. So, Nicholas, okay. So the gates will be closed. We'll have a tent with food trucks. So we'll be providing food, and Slush King will be there as well, Eastie Slush King. And you'll be able to take a look at the Parade of Sail, and that is Saturday. Can't see it. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we can.
July 11th. And we're going to have two transportation locations. So St. Joseph, St. Lazarus, and then at the Mario Amana Academy. So the buses will be there to pick up people, take them off and drop them off at Sumner in Cottage. People will walk down to our main entrance, and then they'll be there and be picked up there and dropped off at those two locations as well. Everything naturally is subject to change, dependent on the weather. But we're very excited about that. Security definitely will be heavy for that. Again, Marginal Street, Boston PPD is going to be closing off Marginal Street. But
Will it be closed for parking as well? Like, are there going to be no parking along Marginal?
I don't know that, Tyler. I think that's a great question. You have to direct it towards them. I remember them
No
mentioning
worries.
at the last meeting, and I think Conventions and BPD had a meeting maybe sometime in March to discuss about the street closures. BPD, Massport Police, and then naturally State Police will be involved patrolling the area during that Parade of Sail.
And this, while there will be security and stuff present, this is not a ticketed event. This is just open,
No.
like, hey,
This
I
is
want to
a-
walk over, walk right in. As long as you go
That's
through
right. Well, I mean,
security, cool.
we're gonna have security checkpoint.
Yeah.
So, just like last time, your bags will be checked, so forth and so on, because it's a pretty big deal, and you're dealing with foreign
Yeah.
ships.
But you don't need to reserve ahead of time. You
No.
don't need to go on or get
No.
tickets or anything.
No, this is a free public event. We're gonna have food trucks. But we're excited about that. Similar to what we did last, 9 years ago. Again, remember, people are going to be dropped off and picked up at Cottage Street in Sumner. And will be picked up at Lazarus and Lumana and returned at the same location.
Will there be security checkpoints for the FIFA event?
That's not so. No.
Okay.
This is a Massport event with its two sponsors.
Okay.
The Parade of Sail is a little bit more security intense because they're foreign vessels.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
And we're expecting a lot of people coming in through the airport. We're preparing for that. But we're excited for both of these events. It's going to be a lot of work, but we're glad that also Pierce Park's community work in the park will be completed long before then. That was a priority.
Okay, so I think the takeaway from both is don't drive.
Yes, I think that's correct. I think that's very correct.
Yeah.
And we'll have
Public
plenty of food for
transportation.
everybody.
Yeah. Public transportation, shuttles.
Highly recommend that. Yes.
Yeah. Also expect that parking in the neighborhood, because Marginal Street will be shut down or inaccessible, assume that people who are going to want to get in and out that day are going to be parking on other streets. So assume that parking on those days are going to be difficult on other streets. So keep that expectation in mind as well. So
I think that's accurate.
yeah, but these look like I just want to say, as someone who has lived in this community, the last time we had the Parade of Sail, a lot of people are going to do like deck parties, and it is a great time. It is a great time. A lot of people wander up and down the streets, look for deck parties. It's like the it's like St. Patty's Day Parade in South Boston. It is like the Parade of Sail in Eastie. It's a good time.
And the difference between that time and this time is we have two viewing locations. So we have two
Yes,
parks. We didn't have phase two at that time. And
that's
hopefully
true.
again the weather will cooperate and make it more enjoyable.
Yeah. And with the rise actually around the with the rise, people could put chairs up,
Yeah, the berm
at the
up top.
berm. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yep.
With the berm, people could put chairs up on the berm and you get a nice view there.
Yep.
It gives a nice little thing there. So that's a nice setup. So that's
So,
excellent.
so we're excited about that. And then what we'll do is probably the week before, the week of, we'll do social media and something in the newspaper again regarding hours of operation and then the travel time for the buses.
So we have a question in the chat: with no parking in the area, where will the residents of Marginal park their cars if they have to move them? Renee, probably on other streets. Keep in mind it'll be marginal between Orleans and the yacht club, not the yacht club, and the
Shipyard.
shipyard. So marginal between the shipyard and the yacht club will still be available. That's overflow parking. And they'll wind up moving to other streets in the neighborhood. I mean, it'll be tough for those days. And then if someone's not planning on going anywhere because they're going to the events, they can still leave their car there. It's only if they're going to be going in or out that day. That's the issue. That's where the real issue is going to be. If someone's like, "Oh, I have to go to work at noontime," they want to make sure that they have their car moved the night before so they don't get stuck. If someone's looking, I understand that you're going to be posting on social media and things before then. Is there a space on the Massport website that people can check between now and when this kind of goes big on social media?
I think the FIFA stuff, I think that you're going to see something posted sometime this week.
Okay.
And then I think what we want to try to do is we want to recognize and be cognizant that this is a community event. So I think that, we're trying to keep it, we're very excited about it. And once the word gets out, we know that people are going to want to come here. But I think that we're trying to maintain, contain it as much as we possibly can, getting closer to that event. So I think that you'll see something in the local press, probably in social media this week about what we're doing for FIFA, but more of the details will be closer to the week of.
Okay, that's really helpful.
And I'll be sending out stuff like I always do.
Excellent. And we're happy to share with the community. So
That's great. I appreciate that. Is there any other question, Margaret?
I don't see any. Tyler, do you see any?
Good. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate it.
Tyler, thank you. Margaret, thank you. Everyone, have a great night. Thank you so much.
Have a good flight.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. So then we will move over to our regularly scheduled programming. I see that we have Police Officer Curtis here this evening, not this morning. It's been a long day. And Police Officer Curtis, and I am looking to see if we have Officer Santolo. I'm on 2 pages here today. Oh, yes, and I have Officer Santolo here as well. So we will turn it over to them for a community update.
Good evening, all.
Sergeant
There's a-
Santolo, my apologies.
Yeah, I know he's messing up his rank there. Good evening, all. There wasn't much that took place in the JPNA area, so it was really quiet. Nothing besides they had a towed motor vehicle that was on Webster Street, and there was some our drug unit along with some other outside agencies conducted a search warrant on an address, but that's not listed on here recently as well. That's to tell you the truth. That's all I have. We're still seeing a lot of shoplifting and so forth, and as far as in like Central Square, I'm just giving you what we have, what's been going on. Central Square, such as like Shaw's, CVS, Walgreens, etc. But like I said, that's all I have. Unless Sergeant Santolo has something.
I have a quick question.
Good evening, everybody.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just before we an update during that FIFA, we do have a watch party coming up. I just forgot the date, though. I have to reach out. Unless you guys know the date, I'll email it to you, Margaret, in the morning. It's gonna be down the stadium. I'm gonna have. I think it's. I forgot the 2 teams. I think it's like an 8:30 start. We're probably going to stop parking at some point because it gets congested to a point where the ambulance can't function through that roundabout down the stadium. Just keep in mind, we got the Columbus Day Parade coming down the road also. What we do ask is if you're attending the parade, and please don't just leave your cars in the street. Sometimes we think that the street's blocked off. We can just go ahead and leave our car where an ambulance or fireman or a police car can't get down the road, okay? Other than that, yeah, it's been pretty quiet up there, and we can take any questions anybody has.
Yeah, hi, this is Joanna Cook. I'm a secretary at the JPNA. Thank you for the update. I had a quick question about, I'm assuming this has been brought to your attention. If it hasn't, ignore me. But I've seen multiple cases on the Facebook groups of juveniles breaking into complexes or apartment buildings and trying to get into units. So was curious to hear a little bit more on what's going on with that and the efforts to mitigate it, given that obviously when we are dealing with juveniles, we're dealing with a different audience here.
I can address that. I can't. Can you guys hear me? Because I can very hardly hear the last speaker.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just outside. Yep. So the problem that we're having is that nobody wants to come forward and make a police report. So they're calling us and saying we're the same juveniles causing the same havoc. But it's very hard to get someone to come and make a report. And if we have no report, we have no crime. If we have no victim, we have no crime. So what had happened is we got the group for something happened at Maverick. I really don't want to talk about it in case anybody knows the person, but we did. They committed some kind of crime, and we brought them in front of juvenile court, and they were laughing and joking. And their lawyer was basically, they really don't have probable cause here. And so the judge and judge, we got probable cause. We're going to move forward. I think everyone's tired of them. We had efforts. We had them in our basketball league. Curtis and Dave Hale have done an excellent job with these kids. It's just reaching them and keeping them out of trouble was a task. So we're going to try to take the other route. Hopefully they one time through the court system, and they hopefully don't do it anymore. But they've been an issue. So my only advice is just to keep reporting. If they're causing havoc, they're breaking things, they're trying to break in, we do need police reports to move forward. Did I come over? Because I know I'm having trouble with my phone.
Yeah, no, you did. You're good.
Okay.
Thank you, Sergeant. I think we do have one question in the chat. Or Renee is asking about is there a wallet robbery? Looks like on Meridian Street, and then maybe Border Street, and then looks like also asking about a stabbing at a barber shop on Meridian Street. I know that's slightly outside our area, but I think she was asking about that.
Yeah, I can speak on the. It wasn't it's stab. It's a domestic situation. We're just gonna leave it at that. The barber had scissors in her hand and kind of like in self-defense. So it wasn't like a stabbing where the public needs to be warned about. Curtis, can you speak about the wallet grabs? I really haven't heard much on that. Or have you heard anything about it?
I haven't. I haven't heard anything about any wallet grabs. It would have been in here as well. So no, I haven't heard anything.
Okay. I see it was on the Renee. Am I reading you correctly? Where was the Robert? Okay. Yeah. All right. She said it was on the news, but I mean, I guess unfortunately, if they can't speak to it, then they can't speak to it. But
yeah, we'll definitely look into it. Tomorrow morning. I'll dig into that, and then I'll get an email out to you guys.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't see any more questions, so I will say thank you to Officer Mosley. And thank you also to Sergeant Santolo. And someone put in the chat, or not someone, but the Carlos put in the chat that it is the FIFA watch party is on June 27th. So I encourage everyone to look out for more details. It'll be at White Stadium. Public watch party sounds like a great time. But these are just some of the events that are going to be going along with the World Cup that's going on this summer, and we encourage everybody to be involved. And so speaking of Carlos, the mayor's liaison, he is on, and we will see what announcements he has for us. Carlos, take it away.
Hey everyone, thanks for the updates. Nice to see you all again. Thanks for having me. Got a few updates for you all tonight, and I'll leave some time at the end for questions or comments, but just wanted to give a thank you to you all for participating in Love Your Block. Really appreciate all the volunteers who came out. I know Brophy Park is in much better shape than it has been, and I'm really excited to see all the trees that have kind of started to thrive and the flowers coming out. So I just wanted to say thank you all for that. I know that, a lot of times people see everyone working in the parks and they want to do their own cleanup. So I just wanted to say that if anyone's interested in hosting a neighborhood cleanup, please reach out to me. I'm happy to coordinate tools, something with Public Works for trash pickup. And there's a form available that I'm happy to share with you all. I know we have plenty of trash pickers, rakes, and bags left over after this Love Your Block. So I just wanted to put that out there. The next item that I'd like to talk about is the ADA, the current ADA sidewalk work and the curb ramps. I know it's been very inconvenient and frustrating to see detours outside of businesses. Some businesses had complained that you weren't even able to enter the business. We are aware of those situations, and we're hoping to work closely in the future to make sure that those notices are given out in more advance. And then I've also been receiving complaints and concerns about some of the stop signs being removed. Just wanted to acknowledge that all of these have been accounted for, and we understand that a lot of this work is happening at the same time, but the crews are actively working every day and looking to wrap up this work in the next month or so. Obviously, weather permitting. I just also wanted to open up this time to answer any questions about the ADA sidewalk work. I know that there had been some reports of damaged property. The 2 or 3 reports that we have received have all been addressed. I know that there's been some things floating around online that the damage had been done and there had been no follow-up, but everyone that had seen damage at their business or home has been spoken to. So I just wanted to ask if anyone had any questions about that.
I see. We have our Joanna and Aubrey. Do you guys? I know I have a comment. I don't know. Joanna, you want to go first?
Feel free.
Yeah, I'll just say just before, Carlos, do you want to? I know why this had to be done, but I think there's a lot of misinformation right now about why this was done. So do you mind addressing that for the neighborhood?
Yeah, so I know that the last time that this happened, I don't know what year it was in. Some of those regulations that, were very, very close to compliant They just were not compliant. And based on the lawsuit that the city got a few years ago, we had to make every single corner completely compliant. It couldn't be off by a centimeter, an inch. And this is a requirement for the city to actually be able to move forward to do repaving. They will not move forward on any street in the neighborhood if it is not ADA compliant. So that's a really, that's a big one there. I think that it is frustrating to see some of these areas get hit again. But that is the reasoning behind it. And I know that there has been a few streets in Jeffreys Point that do not have utility conflict, and so that's actually a really important step, and it's a good step forward for the neighborhood to know that we are actively working here, and as soon as these things are addressed, there's a much higher chance to see repaving in some of these streets that have not seen resurfacing in the past, I don't know, decade. I don't actually know when the more significant parts of Jeffreys Point have been repaved.
I just wanted to pipe in for a second, and I know we've chatted about this in person, Carlos, as well, but like the example that comes to mind right now is the corner of Lamson and Sumner, where there's still like this gaping hole, or it says sidewalk closed, but there's no actual ramp onto the street, or if there is a truck blocking that. And as someone who uses a stroller, I understand that that's a mobility device that I can kind of manhandle a little bit more than if I were wheelchair bound or whatever have you. Or if you come up to an intersection where 3 out of 4 of the corners are closed. It's just kind of wild to me that something that is to get to the city to ADA compliance is not actually ADA compliant in terms of like being able to navigate the neighborhood. And that has been just like incredibly frustrating to be like mountain biking my kid through the neighborhood for weeks on end.
Yeah.
And like the corner of Lamson and Sumner, I have not seen a truck work on that for days and days. And there's, a 6-8 inch gap with nothing right now and no ramp. No, the only ramp is actually on like the steepest part of Lamson, which is also like thinking about that as someone who might be navigating a wheelchair. That's just like that would feel terrifying to me. So I just feel like I would encourage feedback to include that, like actually think about what someone who needs a mobility device would experience when experiencing this, navigating this sidewalk. But I find like walking across Sumner, by the time you see, oh, cross to the other side, there is no accessible way to actually do that. There is no safe way to do that. And the fact that people treat that stop sign at Sumner and Lamson as optional too is it just feels very unsafe as we're going through this. So I understand the work needs to happen, but I do just want to offer that feedback.
All right. I'm happy to bring this back, especially to the contractor. Like I said, I think there's a few instances where like some notices had gotten to like a business a little bit too late, and I think that those construction management plans could always use a review. I totally hear the concern there on, like it feels like you're gridlocked and you're not able to get anywhere. But I'll make sure to bring that back to ONS and then, especially to Public Works to determine what was approved for the construction management plan. Because if something's not working, maybe there can be an adjustment made at other spots once they get to other parts of the neighborhood. But thank you for sharing that.
Carlos, I just want to piggyback on that just from a seriousness point of view. I'm walking around the neighborhood every day, also with a kid in a stroller and a dog. And I'm a 6 foot tall, 40-year-old husky individual. And so I can manhandle the stroller around okay. But there's several spots where I'm going to choose my words delicately. I'll be professional here, where you could just kind of tell where, oh, sidewalk closed, but there's a car there, or there's really the only way for me is to lift the stroller up and then go into the street and physically walk through the street to get to where I can get back on the sidewalk. And again, I'm a pretty big guy. I people can see me, but piggybacking off of Aubrey's point, somebody in a wheelchair, it's just I know we're just kind of beating a dead horse here, but it's just not acceptable. And I just hope that the contractors or somebody, or the feedback would be, at the end of the day, when they're okay, we've done this little corner, we've done that corner. Did we put out the sidewalk? Did we do the hot patch little ramp, you know, down to the sidewalk, just having somebody, a project manager, somebody going through and looking at the end of the day, okay, is this going to be accessible? Could somebody with a stroller or wheelchair get from point A to point B at every single one of these intersections, even if they're not finished? And I think it's just that, at least to me, is just speaking for myself, it's those little things that I think would go. I think we're all understanding that the construction needs to take place, but when it's very seemingly random, where some intersections are, oh, look, they made a little cutout and they put up a little thing, so I'm safe from traffic, and then others, it's just completely a free for all. It's just like, come on, let's be a little bit more consistent. So
Yeah, I
yeah, I
think
just wanted to repeat
no,
that. Yeah,
that's
sorry.
valid, and honestly, I think this is a good time for getting feedback because this same contractor likely will do other work in East Boston.
Yeah,
So I'd like to make sure that we can review those plans, and I do know exactly those sites that you're talking about, and
yeah,
I sense that there's something else that
yeah,
could be done. I'm seeing
yeah.
another.
And we did have just one comment about the potholes in the neighborhood, but then I think you brought up, which I think we'll kind of go to that. It sounds like, which I didn't know, so thank you for sort of explaining that this cutout work has to be done before we actually repave some of these streets. So some of these potholes and some of these really kind of bump, crappy streets, this work has to take place before we can kind of address those other issues.
Yeah, so that way we can make
That's
it a guaranteed street, and that just means that the city will actually kind of, I don't know how long. I think it's sometimes up to upwards of 5 years that the street will not have, other utility work or curb work that will be done. So this is just the most efficient way for, the paving to happen, and then there not be like an additional cut into the road. So that is definitely important.
And to also, I don't want to speak for you here, but also for Bridget, like if there's ever a super huge pothole or something like that, sorry to kind of speak for you here, Carlos, but I think Carlos would probably say, put in a ticket with 311, and if it's super egregious, email him with the ticket number. And
Yeah.
yeah,
There's a number of streets in East Boston that I have my eyes on. I'll let you know them. Bremen Street, unfortunately, at the time, Lower Bremen has been asked for by more people than I would have ever expected in my first month or two here. That is not a street that can be done because there is significant utility conflicts. But it's definitely top three in all of East Boston. I know parts of Brook Street, but I'm just gonna get off. I know there's some streets in Jeffreys Point that could use some love. And I'm happy to also advocate for them if you feel free to drop them in the chat if you have a specific patch or area. And if it cannot be done like full resurfacing, I can try to like work with Public Works to see if there is a way to do a patch in the road versus wait 5, 6, 7 years. But I just wanted to say before promising some streets in Jeffreys Point that there are a few in Jeffreys Point that made it to the list that didn't have utility conflict. So I just wanted to let you know that's a good sign. But East Boston definitely, as a whole, has more significant pothole issues. Um, Bridget, I'm happy to, chat with you afterwards. I'll leave my email in the chat. You can send me a text. I'm happy to just like I need specifics as well. It's always really, really helpful if, we can sit down and you can give me an exact area. I know 311 captures like the photo, but as much context as you can is really helpful. All right. I see your comment, Joanna. Yeah, I mean,
on
let's
social
let's
media,
let's
that's
ha
the
let's have a chat. I mean, I just also wanted to mention that I am making myself more available coming through the spring. I wanted to announce that I do have time early morning and then after 2 p.m. Pretty flexible throughout most of the week, Monday through Thursday. So if anyone wants to meet, do a site walk, a visit of an area, I'm happy to coordinate that. And I think the more community members involved, the better, just to build that transparency there. Um, I did want to move on to the next item if anyone has, unless anyone has any other questions, feel free to send me a message at the end. Um, the next topic I have here, this is actually something that was brought up by the Counselor Coletta's office. I just wanted to bring it up again. I think that the community had been advocating for some changes to resident permit parking times and signage in some parts of Jeffreys Point, specifically on Sumner Street. I just wanted to confirm that you guys have been asking for the time change to be from instead of 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., from 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. to better reflect the needs of the neighborhood. I know that they had expressed concerns with commercial vehicle parking and outsiders parking and taking up those spaces at night. These obviously are not guaranteed, but we are looking into it and like have ongoing conversations for like with BTD and the Curb team to address these concerns. And I know this has been long-standing for a long time, so I really thank the counselor and all of you guys for speaking up on this. Um, how do we feel about that change? I don't know if it will come very soon, but it's definitely in talks finally with the Curb committee team.
I think you get a lot of thumbs up. And I think
Okay.
that's one of those sort of simple things too, where it's like just making that one kind of change would drastically increase sort of the quality of life of the residents in this kind of neighborhood. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
just literally that. Yeah.
And it's one of those things where like we're all working together. I know Stefan's on
Yeah.
the call. He's been closely like bringing up some of these concerns, and we have gotten a little bit of feedback from business owners and community engagement has not started really, but it's just a more complicated issue when it comes to full resident permit parking. Tara, I just wanted to reiterate that the idea was to change the resident permit parking times in East Boston for not all of the neighborhood, but to reflect 8 p.m. to 6 p.m. So that way residents who actually live in the neighborhood have an opportunity to park in areas where other vehicles would be parking in.
8 p.m.
So
to
right now
6
it's 8,
p.m.
8. Yeah, right now it's resident only from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. I know that this signage does exist in other parts of the neighborhood and hoping to like keep this conversation going with the
This is what
council's
they have in
office.
Eagle Hill. Um,
Correct.
this is what they have in Eagle Hill, and they've experienced a lot of people. What happens is that people who want to park there to get on the airport T station, they don't care because those people then leave, and then people come home and they have a parking space at night.
Yeah. All right. Well, the ask is understood and it's being communicated. Don't know how long it will take, but
That's
it's
awesome.
on our
Thank
way.
you. Thank you.
Last item. Yeah, I just also wanted to gather some feedback. I know the Mary Ellen Welch Greenway detour um, has not, we have not installed speed humps. We have not done the paint markings, but that is all still pending. I just wanted to kind of see if anyone in the community had any questions. I know that I'd like to give an update on when these things will happen, but I don't have that timeline. I think that paint markings are more likely for June when the weather gets a little bit warmer. But what's been the experience so far using the Greenway detour? Have you guys in Jeffreys Point had issues? I know I'm in talks with a number of families.
I'm going to give you like a 3-minute warning, Carlos, because we have
Yeah,
several other things to go over in the agenda.
sure.
So,
Yeah, well, this is the last item. I
okay.
encourage you all to reach out to me if you have any questions about this or want to advocate for like any changes to that detour. I have a few families that I'm working with just to like gather feedback, and I just wanted to keep that conversation going. All right.
I just the only thing I'd say, just super quick, is whatever communicate. And I so appreciate you bringing that back to us. But any communication that you can give to us on like a timeline for both those improvements, for the interim stuff, and then also on the work that's being performed on the Greenway and sort of how we're progressing towards the completion, that would be just awesome
Yeah.
and appreciated.
Yeah, the website, the page for the project does have some photos. I think that'd be
Yeah.
great to highlight just to show the community what has been done so far. And I can speak with Amy on some of those specific updates, but I'll leave it there for now, and I'll leave my information in the chat. Thank you all.
Thanks, Carlos.
Thank you. We appreciate you being here this evening, Carlos. This was some great information and some great feedback. Please, could we ask you to put your contact information in the chat? We'd really appreciate it. That way people can follow up with you and ask any questions or provide you any additional information as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So speaking of the Mary Ellen Welch Greenway, people may or may not be aware that at the end of the Greenway or near the marginal street side, can everybody mute? I'm okay. There we go. Excuse me. There is a blue caboose. The blue caboose has been a fixture of the community for many, many years, and there have been proposals throughout the years to turn it into different projects. And it seems that we are very close to having success. And so we have a presentation this evening from a local community member. I've got several pages going here so I can't quite see if they're here. If they go ahead. There you are, Elizabeth. So Elizabeth Kelly is going to be presenting this evening to give us an update on the Blue Caboose project, and is also going to give us an update on how you can help support and make sure that this is successful. So take it away. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, everybody. Troy, my business partner, is also here. Somewhere.
Hello, I'm here.
Yeah, hi. So I don't know if you want to start, Troy.
Yeah, so we're obviously very excited about this. We've been working on this now for longer than we thought, and we're excited to put the construction behind us and get open and bringing ice cream and coffee to the neighborhood and kind of activate the Greenway a little bit. So we've ended up taking about 20,000 pounds of steel out of the caboose. We've run electric and plumbing lines to it. We have a bathroom in the caboose now. We're really, really excited. It's gone from, being something that got graffitied and could feel a little out of place to we hope it can be kind of a landmark in the neighborhood. So Liz has done a great job the last few years with the travel mug and having her coffee cart offering coffee in that area. So we're going to be moving all of that into the caboose. So we're running coffee in the morning and ice cream in the evening. We don't plan to stay open too late. We don't want to we're going to be employing a number of kids from the local high school. And we're not going to be wanting them to, be out too late on the Greenway where it gets a little, the lights go down a little bit. Also, the construction is not ideal for us as far as timing, but we're just kind of making do with it. So we will be open. We will be fully open and everything once we have the construction done and then the whole area is accessible. We're looking to have a big old party out there and celebrate, and would love your guys' support with all of that. The one big change that this is going to mean with the construction for us is, I don't know if for those that are familiar, there is a ramp up the side where we'll be serving. In a perfect world, you go up the ramp and you head down the stairs, kind of walk right back onto the Greenway. We'll just be using that ramp as in entry and exit. Don't think it'll be a big deal. Again, not perfect for us, but this is what we're working with here.
And yeah, I'm just gonna add that we're very excited. We've been planning this I think we were all actually already in one of these meetings years ago, so I don't know if you guys were any of you guys were here then. But nothing has really changed. It's the same plan, and we're finally ready. We're just in the last couple we're just waiting for the health department to come over, but we need one more approval from you guys to be able to do that. And we'll be training people and open very shortly with your help. I don't know if anybody has any questions or suggestions. We'll have a community board that people can vote for whatever ice cream they want to see. If we're gonna do seasonal stuff and keep it fun down there. And once the park is open, as Troy said, we'll hope we'll have to see the whole neighborhood hanging out in there and be a more family friendly area and less creepy that it sometimes in the past has been.
I just want to say huge thank you to prioritizing, trying to hire teenagers and really create some opportunities for our teens. I think coming back to our earlier conversation. So huge ups to that and really excited. I know our family will be frequent customers once the doors are open.
Yes, we already interviewed many of the kids that go or are graduating from Excel, and they're just lovely. There's so much excitement. They have so much energy, and we want to use you know, like we're gonna be serving the community with people from the community and just like create more of that, like seeing each other's faces and, you know, bonding. So we're very excited.
Hi,
Uh,
Lizeth. Can I ask a quick question? Just to clarify, so tonight, what do you need? Margaret put it so delicately in the chat. How can we support you? But what is the ask from the community tonight? Like the very specific ask and the change that you're pivoting to?
Well, Carlos here might know, well, we just need like a letter from you guys that you guys are okay with the whole plan so that we can get the last CV that unlocks the next the visit from the health department. So I think just a
we'll
letter.
touch, yeah, we could touch base. We'll touch base offline. I think we wrote a letter in support
Yeah, it's
about
been
a year
years, I
ago.
know.
But
Yeah.
but we can touch base. I'll touch base with you guys offline. And we'll get that for you. I think
Okay.
you've got a pretty broad base of support here amongst the community, so that shouldn't be a problem.
And do you
providing
need
that.
them from the community as well, is what I want to make sure.
At Carlos is
Yeah,
there.
so this is just a renewal of your letter of support. Like typically, because
Okay. I misunderstood. I apologize.
you
I
didn't
misunderstood.
necessarily need to come to, but this is great because now you're getting the word out
Okay.
there again. But I'm really happy you came and this is exciting because now it's fresh in everyone's mind. But that is now this kind of completes the community process that you guys have been working on for I don't know, 4 years
Originally, we
now.
did put the notice out in everybody's doors and everything, but it's been so long that I'm not sure what we need at this moment, like what
You're good.
continuation. So thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we knew
we'll
that.
work with Carlos. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We're
what
just
is
happy
your-
to be here and kind of give you guys an update and let you know what's going on because I know there's been a bunch of questions for it. I mean, nobody wants this thing open more than Liz and I. We're so pumped, and we're so pumped for the Greenway work to be done and
Yeah,
and
be
just
having
kind of be a
picnics with ice
fixture.
cream over there.
Yeah.
And now once you have that final inspection, like that arrives on like X day, how many days from that day until you open?
It's
Honestly,
pretty
a week.
it's pretty immediate.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty
Okay. So
immediate. It's just the business business license and then
we
get
just need to schedule the kids because I've been telling them like, don't worry, like I will schedule you guys like very soon. I just need to, know when can we open, and we'll do a soft opening, and then whenever the park is finished, we can do a big party with, music, balloons, flowers, and everything.
Okay, I think I owe you a bit of an apology. I was under an impression that you needed like another round of support letters, and I was like, "Oh my God, well then we need to make this happen. Like we have a meeting next week. Like let's get you in front of everybody. Our letter, and then like we'll get everybody else to write you letters. Like we'll get it done." So I apologize. Like I was under the impression you needed like a whole bunch of. I thought my impression was you needed a bunch of letters again. So like
there's
I didn't
certainly
realize
no need
I
to
misunderstood.
apologize. We're happy to be
we're
here.
happy to be here.
And
Okay, excellent. Because I know you've been working so hard. Like I want to echo what Aubrey has said and what others have said, that I know that this has been a labor of love for several years. And this, it needs to turn from a labor of love to at least somewhat of a labor of profit. It'd be lovely to have that area be like activated and have some activity going on. Activity breeds activity, and activity means safety. So, to see people be active, and like once it becomes popular, like you're gonna have people down there like playing music and like, hanging out and making art and like doing all kinds of fun stuff. So
a bunch of activities for children. We want to like activate the area, give out maybe like lend things for people to have picnics on, and just the whole place.
Yep.
Have flowers out on our side as well. A completely different side of the Greenway than we've seen in the last years.
Yeah, we have lots of ideas, and they all start with getting open. So
right. We need funds for these.
Do you guys have a social media?
Yes.
Yeah.
We haven't posted in years, but we'll start posting as fast as we.
Pop it in the chat because people are asking.
Yeah.
I will.
Totally.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. We will. Yes, we will definitely get on this. And I apologize that I misunderstood, but we do appreciate you being here this evening, and we thank you for all of your hard work.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So speaking of amazing community youth, we are going to hear next from another group of amazing community youth. Some people may have heard about this, but there have been a group of the NOAA youth who in the past have worked with the JPNA to put on some of our movie projects during the summer. And a group of NOAA youth have been doing an air quality project at the Golden Stairs Terrace Park. They've been collecting information about air quality projects. And so I'm going to read out the title to make sure I get it correctly. It is the NOAA Air Quality Project presentation by the Environmental Youth Team. And so they're going to present some of their findings this evening, led by, and I apologize if I do not say your name correctly, sir, Vicente Pereira Roa. Was that close? Kind of close?
That was great.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you all right, but I will let you take it away. And thank you so much for being here this evening.
Great. I'm gonna share my screen, and also I'm gonna excuse my youth crew that I was hoping to have in the here, but I think the finals are taking their time very badly. So I'm sorry about that. I'm gonna present. Let's see, share my screen. See, great. Okay, so I'm gonna do this very quickly. The idea is they will present about a lot of information about air quality and why it's important. So I want to go fast through this part. You can ask me any question to go more deeply on what we are doing with the sensor in Jeffers Point. So why we are studying air quality, as you know, it's a big concern in East Boston for a long time because we receive a lot of pollution that affect our community, mainly with some health issues like respiratory diseases, and affect certain communities like young kids and older adults most. So these pollutants usually come from car, trucks, the planes, factories, and also wildfires that we receive the smoke, usually in the summer. Some common pollutants are carbon monoxide, nitrogen dioxide, also ozone, and particulate matter. I'm going to be talking mostly about particulate matter on this presentation. So particulate matter are very small particles, you can see in this diagram, that are way smaller than a hair, and we are measuring with our sensors PM 2.5 that are 2.5 micrometers. That is a very small particle. That the main problem that why is affect our health is that it's so small that it's able to get into our respiratory system. So that's why we are trying to understand when and where air pollution is happening in East Boston. For this, we are using some monitors for the company QuantaQ. Our monitors are made to measure particulate matter. So we are measuring particulate matter 2.5 and you also have different sensors for different type of pollutants. But in our case, we are focusing with the particulate matter ones. Well, how this sensor works, the particulars the sensor have a little fan and sucks air, and then with a laser counts how many particles go through this laser, and then measure the concentration of particulate matter per square meter. No, square meter, cube meter. So we have different sensors in the city. The official sensors from the EPA, they are around 5 in the Boston area. We don't have any of these official sensors in East Boston. So that was a big question for us, like why we don't have any of these sensors in our neighborhood, taking in consideration that we have big pollutants in our area, like the airport or the highways or the industries that we have close to us. So that's why a couple of years ago, NOAA started this effort to put sensors around the neighborhood. So starting last November, we started installing some sensors across all the neighborhood. You can see in this map that we have. I put 10, but one of them is not installed yet. We have 9 PM sensors distributed in all East Boston. And we have one of these sensors in the Golden Stairs Park. So if you walk through the stairs, you will see, if you're going down, you will see in the right side, like a 10-foot metal post that have a sensor with a solar panel and a battery that's constantly reading particulate matter and sending that information to us. And we are also installing one ultrafine particle sensor in Orange Heights. The ultrafine particle sensor measure way more smaller particles that we believe are more associated with the pollution coming from with the planes. But that's going to be in the other side of the neighborhood. Also, I want to mention that we are not the only organization that now are installing sensors in East Boston. Green Roots Community Services is also going to be installing sensors in East Boston. A couple of more ultrafine particle sensors. There's another organization that I forgot the name right now, that I think they also have some sensors in Jeffers Point and across the neighborhood. And also the state, through the effort of Representative Madaro, they are now installing more sensors, high quality sensors across the neighborhood, I think in 4 different locations. So I don't have the details on that, and I know they didn't start yet, but it's very likely you will have more news about that soon. So the sensors measure, like I said, particulate matter, and the particulate matter, you can categorize this in air quality. And the standard for understand this is using these different colors. And usually the values that we are seeing, at least in East Boston, fall into the good, moderate, and unhealthy or sensitive groups. So green, yellow, and orange. Okay. What else? You can access and see real time the data that our sensors have on this platform. We are not alone in this project. We collaborate with a team from Northeastern University called iSuper. They put together this dashboard where you can access a bunch of sensors that different community groups are putting across the Boston area, and you can check the air quality of the sensor that is in the Golden Stairs Park and the other ones that are in East Boston, as well as sensors in Chelsea, Alston, and Brookline, and other locations. So I think I share a QR code here. Let me know if that is working or not. I think it's working.
It works.
Great.
I'm looking right now. It works.
Perfect. That's great news. So yeah, but go to the data. We installed the sensor in the Golden Stairs Park back in March 10. And here I put a little diagram for all the weeks that have passed from March 10 to the rest of April. And in general, we can see that most of the data that the sensor are taking from the sensor in the Golden Stairs are saying that the air quality is good and is in a good standard. And we have some values that get out of into the moderate values. So in general, good, and we have some some reading Statscape, I'm going to moderate. And also here's another representation. This is April. This is the hourly averages distribution for April. And again, you can see we have some episodes that go out of the good quality and getting to moderate air. These are early findings, and we are starting to understand why this happened. But the important is we are keeping track of this. This is data that is staying with us, and we can do further and more deepest analysis when we get more a longer period of data also. What is next for us? I'm trying with the youth. They are learning how to analyze this data. So we are trying to find some projects for this spring. Mostly we'll be trying to understand what some relationship with events that are happening in the neighborhood. Well, for example, the school schedules, the recess periods, if the quality is good or not in relation with these periods. Also, we'll try to pay attention for some special events like when the tunnel closed, or what is happening with the soccer World Cup, if there is going to be some effects in the air quality in the neighborhood. So yeah, that's the work that we'll be doing. And also we have this Saturday an air quality summit happening with ECEST. There's a couple of organizations from ESTI that they're putting together this air quality summit. This Saturday in Mario Humana Academy from 9 to 2 p.m. We'll be giving breakfast and a lunch. We'll have a live translation. We have daycare, so no excuses to miss this event. And we'll be mostly learning for experts about clean air, about health. We'll be able to connect with different organizations, with local authorities that are involved in air quality matters in our neighborhood. And the last part, in the summer, will be building air purifiers. So we're trying to understand what is happening with the air pollution, but also giving an immediate solution for the neighbors that are suffering from air pollution. So in previous iteration, we built some DIY air purifiers that are actually very effective. And we're happy that in this new round of projects, we'll be also building a bunch of air purifiers. And if you want to know more about these workshops, please connect with Noah. You can, I'm going to give my contact. You can send me an email or go to the activity this Saturdays, and we'll be giving more information about these activities. So that's it. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much for the presentation. We really appreciate it and all the work. We do just have one question, which is a great question. Some days it really smells like jet fuel here. Is that something like is that particulate matter? Is that something that these sensors will kind of pick up? Like, will the sensor spike when we're smelling jet fuel? You know what I mean? Oh, we might have frozen. Something, can you hear us? I think. It's not me that's frozen, right? No. Okay. Thank you for shaking your head, Joanna. Yeah, it looks like Vicente froze for a second. Oh, we might have lost him. Frank, we do have another question. Frank, are you looking for volunteer to install outdoor sensors? If Vicente pops back in, we'll have him put his contact information and his presentation and his information will be posted on our website with the meeting information and stuff. Oh, I think he's coming back.
Oh,
Are you there,
I'm
Vicente?
back. Sorry, yes, I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're good.
You were just
good.
talking about the jets.
Yeah. Is that something? Will these sensors pick up like jet fuel emissions and things like that?
That's a great question. That's something that we are trying to understand. Something that can be very helpful is someone every time you smell this kind of pollution, if you can log it, if you can write it down, when and what time and day is happening, that's very useful information. But because the data that we are getting is only from the particulate matter readings, and we have the amount of particulate matter per cubic meter and the time, and that's it. But we don't know where and when that pollution is happening, or I mean, where that pollution is coming from. So having, for example, that kind of more qualitative information from the neighbors is very, very useful for us to be able to compare and understand better this phenomena.
Renee with a comment as a lifelong resident commenting that she's now immune to the smell of jet fuel, which is understandable. Yeah, Vicente, if you could just put your contact information in the chat, that would be great.
Great. Thank you so much.
And should people, if people log that information about when they smell jet fuel, should they send that directly to you? Or is there like somewhere else that, and wherever else they should send, or if they should send it somewhere else, if you could let us know where to send that, that would be helpful.
You can send it to me. I'm the air quality coordinator for this project at NOAA. I'm gonna do some more research. Is other organizations that are collecting this data.
Okay. Thank you very much. This was very interesting. It's really great to know that this activities are going on. And also the Breathe Easy Easty Summit sounds like a great event, and I'm glad to hear that it's open for the public. Thank you for sharing more information about that as well. Encourage people to attend and participate. Speaking of community activities, Jay Mahim, I think I saw him. As I said, we're still on 2 pages. Many people may be aware that Easty Week goes on here in July. We call it Easty Week, but it's really 2 weeks. Goes on here in East Boston. What people may not know is that the Easty Week used to be a program. It was started by one of the mayors, and it used to be something that happened all over Boston. Every single community had there was like JP Week and there was Dorchester Week. And now East Boston is one of the few communities that has it left. I think it's like us in one other place. It's put together because of the work of Boston Harbor Now and a number of community organizations, including the Jeffreys Point Neighborhood Association. And it is Jay Meekum, who I thought I saw earlier, but I'm trying to see if I see them now. Are you here? Saw you earlier. Where'd you go? Oh, I don't see them. But we have you next on the agenda. I don't see them now. I will text them. In that case, we will move to the next agenda item while I send them a quick email to see if they're available. That moves us over to 85 Everett Street, which is a voting project. And I will let Tyler, do you want to introduce them?
Sure.
Okay, go right ahead.
Thanks, everyone. We're going to just do a quick presentation for 85 Everett Street. They presented at our last Planning and Zoning Subcommittee meeting. This is just a roof deck project. They're here just for a variance on roof decks, just so that everybody is aware. Most of you are familiar with this, but our process for any project in our neighborhood catchment area that requires a variance from the city in order to be built kind of has to come through us first. And essentially what they do is they present at a planning and zoning subcommittee first, where we solicit questions and kind of flesh out the project and things like that. And once we're sort of satisfied on a lower level, they come and basically present again to a full monthly what we call voting meeting. So this is essentially the same presentation, but just to kind of a slightly larger audience. Anybody who's eligible to vote, which is the residents of the neighborhood who have attended one of the last 3 full monthly meetings, you'll get an email within the next couple of days, before the end of the week. Give me a couple of days. It's a lot of Excel work, and I was a history major, so that's not necessarily my forte. But I got just give me a couple of days, and you'll get an email with a vote. basically a yes or no. Do you approve of the project? Do you not approve of the project? And once we get that, and once we get our vote, we then send that along to the city, and they move on to the next step in the project. And with that, and I do also want to, mea culpa, our apologies. We did in the minutes of this month's meeting, we misidentified the attorney and the project folks. So this is 85 Everett Street, but the lawyer we're represented by Grego and Toscano Associates. And then also I did see we've got our architect Marcos here as well. They were here at the last project. So with that, I think I'm going to turn over Dominic. I think I'm going to turn it over to you, my friend. Do you want me to
Yes,
share
thank you, Tyler.
your presentation, or do you want to share your screen?
I'll share my screen because I added a
Cool.
couple photos that you guys didn't see.
Oh, okay. Yep, sure.
Can you see my screen?
You're good.
Okay, perfect. Yep. Hi, everyone. Well, thank you for the introduction, Tyler. My name is Dominic Coppola, and I'm an attorney from Drago and Toscano LLP. We are project counsel for 85 Everett Street. I'm joined with Marco Severino, the architect from Flow Design, and the proponent, Matt Feist. Thank you for taking the time to meet with us tonight. So this is just our project team slide, as I indicated. And here's just a brief project overview. Like Tyler mentioned, this is at 85 Everett Street, Unit 3. So the project, it's pretty simple. We're just planning to add an exclusive roof deck to existing 3-unit building with interior stairs to access the roof deck. The existing conditions, a 3-unit residential building, it's condos, and our client owns the top condo, Unit 3. As per zoning, we are in the East Boston Neighborhood District, and we're in an EBR3 zoning subdistrict. As you can see here, it's just showing us the project location on a locus map. And then here, this is just an aerial photo we took where the red icon is. That's 85 Everett, just so people can get context of the neighborhood. And this here are just some existing conditions photos. So you can see right here where my mouse cursor is, that's 85 Everett. This is a photo from the roof where the roof deck is going to be placed. And here are just some more existing conditions photos. You can actually see a neighboring roof deck in 2 of these photos right here. And then on this slide, we just put this here just to show that roof decks aren't an anomaly in this area. There's various roof decks very close to 85 Everett Street, such as 287 Maverick, 112 Cottage Street, 80 Everett Street, 7 Lamson Court, and 74 Everett Street. And these are just some photos that we took from online in the show. And this here is our refusal letter from Inspectional Services. From a zoning standpoint, we only have one zoning violation. That's East Boston neighborhood roof structure restrictions, which every roof deck gets hit with in the East Boston neighborhood. And from this point on, I'm going to pass it off to Marcos to go through the architectural sides. Let me know where to start, Marcos, if you want to start here.
Yeah, I mean, thank you so much, Dominic. Pleasure meeting you all. Marco Severino, Flow Design Architects. We're representing Matt Face. Mr. Face hired us back last year in order to try to get a roof deck. As most of you know, East Boston is very limited in outdoor space. So Mr. Matt reached out to us in order to have a space for him to enjoy the outdoors. Dominic, could you go down into a couple sheets, please? Yeah.
This one?
Yeah, right there. So in terms of the existing conditions, there is not much to say for the project. We are trying to incorporate a skylight that it exists currently within his unit. Is the volume that you see on the left side of the building, in order to not have to build any additional structure to be able to access the space. So that's the existing conditions. Could you go into the proposed, please, Dominic? Keep going down. In here, you can kind of see, yeah, you passed it. Yeah, right there. In here, you can kind of see what we're proposing. The roof deck is going to be about 300 square feet. And it's going to have low maintenance materials. We've been talking about cable railings in order to maximize the views, and actually also we composite decking, so in order to prevent future maintenance. Yeah, so there's not much to say with the project. It's a pretty simple, straightforward project, and we're happy to respond to questions as needed.
Just to confirm, I know we talked about this in the planning and zoning meeting, but at the picture right there, that's the rear of the building. So that empty space is towards the front of the building. So it's the roof deck is essentially going to be set back from the road, not really visible from the road itself.
Absolutely. Thank you, Taylor, for bringing that up. And that was one intention from Matt. And yeah, so it's gonna be set back. People from the street won't be able to see it. Yeah.
There aren't any questions in the chat, but that doesn't mean that we won't eventually get any. I do want folks to also be aware, I should have said this at the beginning, if you do have any additional questions or you think of something last minute or something or after the fact, feel free to email us at board@jeffreyspoint.org and we can pass your question along, try to get an answer for you, or if you have any kind of commentary or concern, feel free to email us at board@jeffreyspoint.org. Thank you, Joanna, for putting that down there. And like I said, I'm just giving like another 30 seconds for questions to pop up if necessary. Like I said, at this point in the next couple of days, probably 2-3 days, Wednesday, Thursday timeframe, everybody keep an eye out for an email. If you're eligible to vote, you'll receive an email. Basically asking yay or nay on this particular project. We generally will leave that open for 2 business days. If it's over a weekend, we'll throw in a third day just to give folks a chance to vote. And then once we get those votes back, we write up a letter and send it on to the city. So thank you, Dominic, Matt, and Marcos for coming and presenting. You guys will hear from me in the next couple of days. I'll be in touch with you guys separately offline. But thank you guys for coming to present. And if, like I said, if anybody does have any questions about this project, you think of anything after the fact, please feel free to reach out to us.
If you believe, I just want to point out, if you believe that you are eligible to vote and should receive a ballot but do not, please check your spam filter first. Check your spam filter first. 90% of the time, it's because your ballot is in your spam filter, spam folder. So it is a very common thing that people say to me, I expected a ballot, I didn't receive your ballot. You check your spam folder and it is there. So please.
Thank you, Margaret. Yeah.
No problem. Absolutely. Actually, I was reminded that Aubrey Hartnett, who is one of our wonderful board members, has been very active with Eastie Week. So she is going to take just a few moments to speak to, as Jay is not available, to speak to Eastie Week, and then we will be wrapping up. Aubrey, go ahead, take it away.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I just wanted to add a little bit of color because this is just such an open and beautiful way of celebrating community. It's usually a full 2 weeks, and Eastie Week is very happy to share and highlight activities put on by organizations big and small. So this includes Zoomix. Zoomix is a huge fixture of this every year. And then a huge, huge highlight every year too is the free sunset cruise that EC residents get to participate in. That is generally overbooked, waitlisted. So I've already reached out to reserve tickets from the JPNA. So hopefully we'll have a good number to be able to distribute at the potluck in July and to reserve through us. But it is just such a beautiful celebration of community. So whether you're part of a volunteer organization or part of a garden or part of anything, it's just such a great opportunity to add visibility, add community, introduce people to what you're doing, to meet new people. There's usually yoga, there's usually music, performances. There's so many different things, puppet shows for all ages. I would say that if folks have indoor capacity and an opportunity to provide programming indoors, that's a huge help to allow for more weather-friendly events, or if folks are struggling with the heat, if we're having a heat wave and it's just dangerous to do any sort of physical exertion outside, just be thoughtful of that. But Jay is incredibly good at connecting folks. They are really, really wonderful. The whole team is just super happy to just keep on highlighting and and connecting things. So whether it's a city organization, a neighborhood organization, an individual who wants to share a skill, I would really, really encourage communicating. By the end of this month, they'll want all the scheduled activities just to be able to make it on those posters that you will see everywhere before long, including all of those full 2 weeks of activities. So if you think you're going to have something that will be poster worthy, don't be shy.
I was on mute there. Sorry about that. Those are excellent points, Aubrey. Thank you so very much. Eastie Week is always looking for new programming or returning programming. And as I said, Jay and the entire team at Boston Harbor Now put an incredible number of hours to make sure the entire 2 weeks of programming happen. And we are grateful to all of them because, as I said, there was once upon a time, not that long ago, that the entire city had this happen. And now it's like us. And I think it's like either Jamaica Plain or Roslindale is the only other community that has a week of activities that happen. So we will invite Jay back again next month to run through a lot of the activities that'll happen as part of Eastie Week. But that means that the months of June and July here in East Boston will be very active between FIFA and the Tall Ships and the Eastie Weeks. And with that, I will say thank you to everyone who has attended this evening. This has been the May meeting of the Jeffreys Point Neighborhood Association. And I'm embarrassed to say I normally know when the June meeting is. The next monthly meeting will be on Monday, June 8th at 7 p.m. on Zoom. And we thank you all for joining us. And it is 8:28, and I will declare us finished. Have a great night.